It is absolutely ironic. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that political opinions on the science of climate change have been, and remain, so very divided? In general, Democrats believe in man-caused climate change, and Republicans don't. But, is science a matter of belief? No. The findings of objective science are not a matter of belief or opinion. This discord is strictly ideological in nature. Such disunity does not exist between scientists the world over who are involved in climatological studies. Perhaps you have heard before that 97% of scientists worldwide are convinced by the decades of scientific studies that climate change is real. Indeed, the results of several recent surveys of scientists throughout the world, without exception, found overwhelming agreement regarding the data that it's happening, it's us, and it's serious. Note also that a recent review of the 3%, yes, only 3% of scientific papers that question or deny man-caused climate change found that all of them were flawed. Dr. Catherine Hayhoe, a well-known climatologist who worked with a team of researchers that reviewed these 38 papers, reports that every single one of those analyses had an error in their assumptions, methodology, or analysis that, when corrected, brought their results into line with the scientific consensus. Because of this, it is undeniably clear that the politics of climate change does not reflect the results of the objective science. Considering this overwhelming scientific consensus, why is it that politicians remain so divided on this issue? Many ideological conservatives provide a wide variety of reasons. They dispute the decades of scientific research, even though these intensive studies have led to an increasingly clear understanding of how and why Earth's climate is changing. In sum, the source of most all of these arguments seems to be fear. Fear that taking action is tantamount to accepting a massive increase in government control and power at the expense of personal independence and liberties. On the other hand, many liberals have manipulated the science, using it as a political tool to further their ideological goals. As many of those goals are antithetical to conservative tenets of personal responsibility, independence, and the reduction of government control in our lives, this misuse of science has driven a wedge between themselves and conservatives. This political situation has persisted for many decades, and has served to greatly delay the urgent and serious action required. But what are the alternatives? Are the only solutions those that require big government control? Are there not free market methods to deal with this issue? Conservative organizations such as Republic N have been very vocal in attempting to bring attention to such methods. It is indeed an absolute irony that, the longer we wait to effect the vast social and economic changes necessary to answer the challenge of human-caused climate change, the greater government intrusion into our lives, and more so, the lives of generations to come, there will be. Should they continue to persist in their denial of the well-founded science, political and ideological conservatives will have virtually no voice in the decisions and the actions necessary to maneuver the great ship of humanity sufficiently to avoid the enormous iceberg of climate change. At that point, the only win conservatives will be able to point to, as the wreckage of humanity and much of the natural world surrounds us all, will be that they have been proven right. As world government domination and more direct control of individual behavior becomes required. But there will be no reason for them, or anyone, to celebrate. Their voices and objections will be drowned out by the truly cataclysmic realities of the situation then at hand, as oppressive government controls are implemented to save Earth's environment and all of humanity from this chosen path of destruction. The resulting levels of societal unrest, chaos, war, and death will be unprecedented. if, instead, conservatives will now leave behind the divisive politics and provide competitive ideas, including the implementation of specific free market actions and solutions, and if liberals will now refrain from using the science as a political tool. By working together, true progress on this existential threat can be made. It is time for all those involved in governance, and all people of goodwill, to end the delay, the paralysis, face the indisputable facts of the science, and join the conversation, now, today, en masse. Especially if you are, or were, a climate change skeptic, or involved in manipulating the science for political ends. We want to thank you for listening, and considering information that perhaps changes your thinking and your future actions on this issue. Hopefully, you now realize the critical importance of addressing this challenge with unity, in order that the needed broad strokes of vast personal and societal changes throughout our country and world can begin without additional delay. The first step towards success in any battle is to face the truth of the situation. In listening to this, you have done so. Now, we implore you, please share this short video with your friends and family, and then discuss with them the implications of inaction on this critical issue of our day. This is William, of Absolute Irony.